Hello, welcome back to part two. In this video series, what we're doing is we're breaking down the very basics of shadow work so that by the end of this, you'll have a comprehension and you'll be able to start working with your shadow, understand how this process works and what to do about reclaiming the authentic parts of you that you have lost. So let's get into it. If you watch the first video, you'll have learnt that you have a natural pattern. This pattern is something that you are born with. It's your essence. It's your natural way of expressing yourself in the world. Now, a lot of you may not know exactly what that looks like because you've had so many parts of that cut off and suppressed and buried deep within you in your personal unconscious. So what we're going to do is we're going to find and rediscover these parts of us which are lost and to reconnect it with the conscious mind, a grand reunion, a de-exiling of these parts of you. Now, things are put into your shadow, into your unconscious, because they were not bad, but because they were deemed to be unacceptable. They are unwelcomed, unloved parts of us which might be wild, they might be brilliant, they might be angry or sexual or needy or defiant or selfish or magical. There's all kinds of parts of us which may have been cut and shut off. What remains in the shadow becomes dark. Now, it's not because it's evil in itself, it's just the nature of how this process works. There are signals which are built around these parts of us which are suppressed in order to protect it from being connected to the mind because it's been deemed as exile, it's been deemed as something to be shut off and hidden and suppressed. And if your mind goes towards it, there's a protective mechanism. The protective mechanism is often fear, is often pain, it's often hurt, it's often guilt, or even shame. And this is the way that the mind uses to protect that so that you don't reconnect. But so much of our goodness, our essence, our things which make us powerful and unique are hidden in this area and it's been misdiagnosed. Obviously, a child very often misdiagnoses their own traits. They pick up ideas and messages which really translated into um, a false reading of their circumstances. And you, just like a child makes mistakes, we've made mistakes. We've shut off parts of us that we really shouldn't have shut off. And so I would like to guide you into the first stepping stones now is to rediscovering exactly what parts of us have been shut off and hidden from us. First, we need to look at the Jungian definition of the shadow. Obviously, Carl Jung was the foundation of this understanding of the shadow, and so it's very good to be clear on exactly what it is. The shadow, by definition, is everything about yourself that you repress, deny, and disown. It is stored in the unconscious where it operates without your awareness. It is charged with energy, both creative and destructive. And through it all, it longs most to be seen. What could be a good example is it could be your anger that you never learnt to wield. It could be your desire that you were taught to fear. It could be your needs, which were dismissed as weakness. It could be your brilliance that was mocked or ignored. These are examples of traits. Now, they will be very personal for each and every one of you. And each one of these parts of you that are suppressed has an associated memory. Now, this associated memory is our key. It's the way that we're actually going to find our way there. So there's three main ways that we're going to look at coming to meet these aspects of ourselves that we can't see right now. First is we have to stop looking away. We have to stop running from it. We have to learn to sit with the anxiety, the outbursts, the numbness, the sabotage. We have to allow ourselves to fully engage and emotionally hold a space for these emotions that are within us. These are our internal messengers, and they give us a very clear indicator that there's something there. This is your unconscious trying to reach you. Secondly, there's a brilliant way of actually determining what's within you. We observe our projections. See, the shadow often appears in others. We see it in others very clearly. People who trigger us, people who disgust us, people who secretly fascinate us, they carry the very traits, and we pick it up that we've disowned. And if you want to know what's in your shadow, pay attention to the people you judge the most, or the ones who make you feel unsafe in yourself. They are exhibiting the very traits which you are suppressing and denying. The third thing is we listen to the places that we feel shame, not to collapse under it, but to reclaim what's buried inside. Shadow work isn't about becoming perfect, it's about becoming whole. And if you have negative traits that you have buried deep within you, there is almost always a positive expression of that trait, something useful, something fundamental. And so it's very important to actually know yourself, is to deeply connect with yourself, even with traits which are still to this day you would see as negative, to be real with it and to not suppress it or deny it, because it is still, in fact, working in you. And that's the uncomfortable truth. It's still manifesting, it's still creating, it's still doing everything because it's a genuine part of you. But if you're doing it unconsciously, it's going to lash out. It's going to create things in your conscious life without you having any conscious control of it. And that's where things get very dangerous because when people suppress and deny some of the very destructive traits about us into the unconscious, they'll lash out and do things unconsciously. And then they will be sitting there going, I don't know why I did that. I have no idea. A really good example of this is actually something that happened in my hometown very recently. There was a young man who took another person's life. And when he was interviewed by the police and they asked him why he did it, he genuinely had no idea. He didn't know why he did it. He just did it. This is the unconscious acting out. So, by getting in touch and becoming whole, even with the parts of us we see as detestable, we're actually becoming more empowered and more safeguarded against some of the negative actions that we might take in life without knowing why or how. So, what I'd like you to do now is to sit for a moment in stillness. We're going to look at projection and we're going to use it as an indicator of one of the parts that is within you that is deeply buried. If you have a pen and paper, pause the video now, go get that, and we're going to write down some of these things. If you take some time to write down the top three, what you want is to pick one of these, but the top three traits about others that you consistently are bothered by. Maybe it's men acting feminine. Maybe it is the way people tell white lies. Maybe it's something along the lines of people who are being irresponsible with their time. Just three main traits that really bother you. And when you have that written down, I want you to pick one and I want you to really reflect on that trait being something that you actually have within you. Just try to create a mental bridge into that part of you. It's going to be uncomfortable. There's going to be resistances. You're going to hate this idea, I'm sure, but stick with me because this is part of the process. Find that part of you that you don't like. It's okay that you don't like it. It's perfectly fine. But what we want to do is acknowledge it so that it's not acting unconsciously in us anymore. Once you're in touch with this, once you've settled with the idea that you might actually be carrying this trait within you, I want you to start to communicate with this part of you and ask it, why do you feel this way? What this means is try to hold an image in your mind. Visualization is very powerful. Questions and visualizations, those are the fundamental blocks of shadow work. Visualize that part of you that has that trait and ask it why. Why do you feel this way? Be real. It's important in shadow work to be brutally honest. Absolutely, without question. This is about reality. Why do you feel this way? Get into it. Really hold it. Get some answers. Once you have the answer, write it down. Keep note of these things because this is an ongoing process you can keep coming back to. Get as many insights from it as you can. Get as much information. This is like Sherlock Holmes. We're investigating clues. We're narrowing things down. This part of you has an original memory, a time that it formed. It didn't come from nowhere. This is something that formed in memory. If you can try to trace back when you first started feeling this way, when you first started seeing things this way, when you first started exhibiting this trait or suppressing this trait in you, ask questions and try to wind back to the original memory. This might take some practice, but if you can get that original core memory, and if you can actually go into that memory and see exactly what it is and how it went down, you'll find that your shadow can only see things in one single lens. It only remembers things in one way. It doesn't have the gift of perception like the mind does, like the ego does. You, the ego, have that power. This is the power of transformation, the power of alchemy that your mind can bring to this part. Start to see this memory from multiple different angles, from ways that you've never thought of this memory before. Find an unlocking memory. This is where the power is. There is a way to see this original memory in a different light that will release it, that will free you. So let's say you've done this. Let's say you've engaged in the switching of memories of this original core shadow and you feel the release, I never thought of it that way, that feeling that washes through you. Now you've transformed it. It's not going away. It's just now seen from a different light. You'll begin to see yourself now in a different light. You'll feel an energetic realigning. Now, this is a very positive thing. If you get a chill up your spine, wonderful. That's what you want. This new realigning will be more malleable, not just integrated, but able to be slightly changed and shifted into something that is more empowering for you. Now, this is the end of part 2. In part 3, I'm going to be going even deeper into the process of alchemy and transformation, and I urge you to watch it. It's going to be very powerful. So thank you very much for watching this part 2, and I'll see you next time.